And hello. This is I'm we anime. And this is my second time recording this because I had technical issues with the first one. The audio, well, I want to tell you this right now. I forgot to turn on my microphone. So I went through 55 minutes of me telling you all the story and I realized I forgot to turn on my microphone. So yeah. So now we're restarting this. Hello. Disclaimer. Like in my videos all the time, I use I stutter my words and I do impressions. And if you hear a helicopter, um construction pipeline, that crap is happening near me. And yeah, let's get to the story. I'm not gonna bother you at any time. So where we left off was Medora running into his classroom to change very quickly as he just threw the ball so and so meters, I forget. And yeah, and he would get changed very quickly and would be sitting there and he would check his phone as he felt it vibrate in his pocket and he would see that he has a text from his mother, and it says, uh, "I am working late, and I should be home around when you all get home, when you and your sister get home." So that's and he texts back that it he texts his mom that it's okay. Well, okay, and uh uh well, hold on, I'm thinking. Yeah. Oh, everyone would flood in, all the students, and some of them would ask questions to Midoriya about his quirk. Uh, he would get one question from a girl with purple hair that looks like balls, and that question would be, how big is he down there? And well, Suyu would slap the girl and take her away to her seat. And uh yeah, as I would get there and the class would start normal and it would and we'll do a time skip. Okay, 3 days later, it's hero training time. Heroes versus villains time. What before that happens, Aizawa would hear or Aizawa would just leave out of nowhere. And without answering any questions, she would just Aizawa would leave, right? She would leave without answering any questions why she was leaving. But right after she left, you could hear loud stomps and a booming voice saying, "I am walking through the door like a normal person." And it's All Might. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go on a little rant here. Why does almost everyone call female All Might in these, like only male with a quirk or whatnot, Almighty? Why? Why? Just keep it All Might. It They would have the same name. It's All Might, right? I don't get it. So for the ones that are listening to this, I want you all to go to your favorite whatever that has done a only male with a quirk and that has changed All Might's name to Almighty and say, you should go to, my video, me right here, this video, okay? And and put down the timestamp of my video, right? This right now. And at the start of this rant, okay, tell them the timestamp, the time that starts, okay? Tell them, okay? I just need you to do that one thing for me, please. And yeah, I'm sorry about going on that rant. It bothers me greatly. But yeah. We well before All Might she would All Might would tell them all that they're doing hero training, and boxes or like suitcases would fall out of the roof above, right? And land on their desk. And yeah. And they would all the females of the class with which is all of them would leave and go to their changing room, while Medora is stuck there, um, awkward that he has to get changed there in the classroom, which he does get dressed. And it's what his hero costume is what you see in the screen, um, just without the gloves, and the white is black. No, what did I say earlier? It's the same costume just without the gloves. Okay. And he also had, his jacket he always wears is, uh, this. Hold on. I went from it. Which is this. Okay. Which is that the white sleeves and the orange hood and, uh, like zip place, the main coat of it. He would he would put on that and would walk out of the classroom heading to the training ground. And only a couple of the students that were well would already be there. It would be who would already be there? Todoroki would already be there. Momo, Juro, Bakugo, Izumi, which is his sister. If you didn't watch the first part, which is Izuku's sister. Okay, twin sister. And her costume is same as Midoriya's as in canon. Okay, and I want to say Tokiyami would already be there. Well, All Might would be already be there, and yeah, and he would go sit down at like a at a stand and would take off his jacket, set it there, and would lay down on the stand. The what are those called? The seats, I guess. The seats, right? And everyone else would flood in. Uh, the rest of the students would get in there, and you would see a special face that we wouldn't really meet until later on in the story. But I'm gonna have you meet them now, and you would have met them last part also. It's Mirio, okay? Mirio Togeda. Mirio would be there, uh, watching as well. Not Nejire and Tamaki wouldn't be there as of right now. You would only meet Mirio, right? And as we would go on, um, the fights would actually start in the teams. The first battles team is for the villain side. It is Bakugo and Izumi to start it off for the villain side, and for the hero side, it would be Midoriya and Tokuyami. Okay, and Bakugo and Izumi would go there, hide the boom boom, right? Hide it there, or they would get a head start to hide it. And Tokiyami and Midoriya would start heading there, and they would talk. Tokiyami would ask about his quirk, and Midoriya uh, uh, would tell her about his quirk, and uh, and Midoriya would also say to Tokuyami, they will, well, their two opponents would most likely go after him first, or they would target him. And Tokuyami would ask why would they do that? And and Midoriya would say, well, if that's a long story, um, I'll just give you the short story of it. And he would explain how Bakugo and Izumi would boil boy bully him at when they were younger, how they would both bully him while when they were younger and would trauma or tease him about not having work and being a male and all that. And now that he is here, they are mad at him for being there and being a male and having quirk. It's a random junk like that. And Tokiyomi would understand. Uh, and they would finally get at the base of the building they would have tried to get into, right? And they would start, well, Bakugo, I mean, Tokiyomi would, well, they would both start being able to head in, right? And they would start walking down the hallway and would hear booms or explosions coming down the hallway, and Midoriya would say to Tokiyami to hide, and Midoriya would step out into the entranceway of the hallway, like the hallway that it connected it to. Um, he would stay out there and wait for Bakugo to show up, which she would. Bakugo would show up and would say, "Ready to die, nerd?" And Midoriya would say, "Not really, but yeah, I feel like you're darn try to make me feel that way after this." So Midoriya would start transforming into a since it's a hallway, he would probably try to go for something big, but yet not big enough that it would take up the area, and probably something durable, right? So he would probably go into a grizzly bear, which it would still be a green bear, or he turns into any animal green, okay? And Midoriya would start charging at, or no, he would go a tiger, okay, not a bear. He would start charging at Bakugo, and Bakugo would start shooting explosions after explosions, trying to get Midoriya. But yet Midoriya would dodge him by jumping on the wall or sliding under him, and he would finally get up to Bakugo and tackle uh her, or like hit her with his like head into a or would like tackle her into a like a doorway, and they would both go into a like a room, and Tokyomi would run past the doorway and would look, well, and would start heading up the stairs right behind it, and would look back concerned for Midoriya's well-being, and but yet Tokyomi would start running faster and faster up the stairways and would finally get up to the room. And she would she her can hear the like a wire the the earbuds like the headphones of um Izumi, and she would be talking to Bakugo, right? And Bakugo would be talking back to her because, well, let's go back down to Midoriya, right? And they would be fighting, and Midoriya would be, well, has changed into a gorilla by this point, a silverback gorilla, and trying to punch, would be trying to punch Bakugo, but yet Bakugo would dodge and dodge all these punches by uh, propelling herself with her explosions to move out of the way and would shoot explosions once in a while. But yet she would still be talking to Izumi about the plan. And while this was happening, well, they would be moving. Well, Bakugo would get out of the room, and and Midori would change back in, would transform back into human form and would go uh chameleon. Okay, he would turn into a chameleon and start walking out of the doorway. Or yeah, he would start walking out, he would be camouflaged and would start heading like towards Bakugo. And he would no, he doesn't turn into a chameleon. He would turn into a an ant, right? And he would scuttle across the floor to end up right behind Bakugo while she was pointing her like palm at the doorway with her finger on the pin. But the more like Bakugo saw the ant going out of the door. Would you shut up, bird? I'm sorry if you can hear that. There's a bird being annoying. And it's not annoying now. I just feel bad now for screaming at a bird. But yeah, that's fine. Um, yeah. So now Bakugo sees Midoriya and his ant form trying to get behind her. But while that is happening, uh Bakugo would walk up to the doorway and uh let um Midoriya get behind her. And he would transform back into human form silently and would transform, well, no, not really silently. Um, and while he transformed back, uh, we will go back up to Tokiyami. And Tokiyami would bust down the door with Dark Shadow immediately and would send Dark Shadow right, uh, for the bomb and to get it over with because she can hear explosions from the bottom of the room and she wants to get this over with so that she can go check up on Midoriya. And and Tokiyami would keep an eye on Izumi while, or would try to, really, because Izumi would throw like a smoke bomb, a smoke boom boom. Okay, I don't know if the real word would get me in trouble, but I'd rather not risk it if it does. So that's why I'm saying boom boom. But yet, um, and Izumi would throw cinder block. Well, would throw the smoke bomb, smoke boom boom. I'm just gonna say smoke bomb at this point. Um, she would throw it at the at Dark Shadow, and Dark Shadow would keep on going forward. But Izumi could see the eyes of Dark Shadow and would start throwing pieces of cinder block at Dark Shadow and at Tokiyami. So Tokiyami would dodge out of the way. Dark Shadow, well, no, Dark Shadow would go back to Tokiyami to take out all these the pieces of cinder block uh so that it wouldn't hit Tokiyami, and they would start their fight. Tokiyami would actually go into the room and would start running would start running at at Izumi. I forgot her name for a minute. And they would get close up, but yeah, that was the plan for Izumi, to let Tokiyami get close up. And she would use her telekinesis to wrap uh Tokiyami's legs in like tape, the tape they were given at the start, right? They would be wrapped up, and Tokiyami would fall down like on her face. But yet Dark Shadow is still up, and Midori, I mean Izuku, not Izuku, Izumi would pull out a flashlight and start flashing it at Dark Shadow, right? And Tokiyami would yell, "Dark Shadow," or let me get into the voice, "Dark Shadow, get the bomb so we can get this over with." And but yet Midoriya, well Izumi, would start flashing a bigger flashlight, not the other thing, uh, like a brighter one, right? Over and over and over and over and over again, making Dark Shadow weaker and weaker. So let's get down, well, back down to Midoriya and Bakugo. Bakugo would turn down, well, Midoriya would transform back, right? And that would be a mistake on his part because Bakugo knew that he was there the whole entire time. And Bakugo would say, "Nerd, you gotta realize my eyes are better than you think." And she would turn around with her hand up in front of her while her other hand would be on the pin to fire the big gauntlet like blast. And you could hear All Might over the intercoms saying, "Young Bakugo, do not pull that pin. You will kill Midoriya." And Bakugo would say, "It won't kill him if he dodges." And he would pull the pin. Well, Bakugo would. He's not. Bakugo would pull the pin. A giant explosion would blast off, covering a whole entire hallway, and Midoriya would stare in shock and would try to transform into anything that he could think of. And the first thing he thought of was a cockroach, of all things. But yet he thought that won't be good enough because if he can live this, he could go into a stronger thing. And the way his transformations would also work is it takes time to transform into things. So if he hasn't transformed into him before, like say a cockroach, um, it would take longer than immediately. So he thinks he could transform into his gorilla form, but yet that would put his gorilla form in a bad disadvantage right after. So he thinks he has to risk it and he transforms into a gorilla, a silverback gorilla, and he would put up his palms or his hands to block his in front of his face to block anything he could, right? And he would get hit. And well, let's go back up to Tokiyami and Izumi. They hear a giant explosion. It would shake the building. It would shake the whole entire building, and they would both. Well, Izumi would smile, and and Tokiyami would be shocked. Why? Because well, they everyone in the class would know that Izumi and Izuku are siblings. They are twins, but Midoriya would come out first, right? So he would technically be the older one, but by a couple seconds, a couple minutes, and then Izumi would be the younger one. But yet Izumi would be smiling, right? And Izumi would say, "Finally, I get my own birthday. I get attention. Finally, finally, that pest is out of my hair." Good. Now I can have Bakugo all to myself. And Tokiyami would look shocked of what she's saying and the fact that she's smiling because, well, Tokiyami wouldn't really know what happened, but like a giant explosion. But yeah, and well, let's go up to All Might and the other students. The students, well, everyone there would look shocked, and some would look sad, and some would look angry. Most of them sad, angry, all the emotions besides happiness. They would all be sad that they have just lost a fellow student that they wanted to get to know better, get to make him out of his. They wanted to make him comfortable around them. They wanted to be his friend. See, while in classes, he would just keep his head down and do his own work. Okay, he would only get called on by Aizawa he if Aizawa wanted a question answered by Midoriya, right? That's the only time he would get called on, right? And he would always sit by himself at lunch, or well, not by himself voluntarily. He would he wanted to be by himself, but yet almost everyone, some people would, like Baku and Izumi, would sit around him or sit near him because they're his classmate and uh friend. But they, when the smoke clears, they are shocked. Well, All Might would say he's gone, but yet when the smoke clears, Midoriya would be standing there in his human form because I don't know if I want to make this work like it does, but yet to a well, let's take it back to when I said he transforms into his gorilla form. When he got hit by the explosion, he would be in his gorilla form. But when he would get like in the middle explosion, when it first when it wouldn't be as bad as the first impact and first hit, he would transform back into his his human form, right? And everyone would look shocked. Um, Midoriya's clothes are almost completely gone. The only thing he's wearing is basically a bikini bottom. Get it, bikini bottom, SpongeBob. Yeah, but yet no, I'm not joking. His pants are like barely on. He would be standing there like you could see burns and a major burn on his like chest area, and it would be welted up. And well, I bet you all have been burnt, right? At least some of you, or you've known someone that's been burnt and would be left with a scar. This one will leave a scar. How bad it is. It turns like the outside, well, the inside of the explosion, like the first impact spot would be there, and it would be like if you ever, well, you know Dobby, that would it looks like that. His, but yet while and Bakugo would look shocked that he's even standing there, and Midoriya would look at Bakugo, and would say, "Well, can't kill me that easy," and he would transform into a a let me think, a a massive, okay, well, not massive. He would transform into a raptor, a Utah raptor. Not, no, no, no. He wouldn't transform into a dinosaur yet, or mo. Like he would. He will transform into a Siberian white tiger. Well, it would sort of be white. Well, a Siberian tiger. Go look it up. They're cool. They're cool creatures. Um, and he would start like he would rush Bakugo in her such a shocked state. A massive tiger is running at Bakugo, right? And would jump on her and just bash her into the ground with one paw, hit her in the side of the head, and would bash her into the ground, seemingly almost knocking her out, but yet she would be stunned. And Bakugo would be, and then uh, Midori would start stomping on her, like, or like start hitting her with his paws and would start beating her, like scratching her up. What else do you expect a tiger would do? He's not trying to kill her or anything, like Bakugo tried to do to him. No, he's just hitting her a lot. And then you could see somebody's walking down the stairs, and he knows that they haven't won yet, so he thinks that's Izumi, and he would he would go back to his human state and would hide, right, and wait for her to get Izumi to get down there, right, and she would be running down there trying to check on uh Bakugo, and watch, and Midori would, while hiding, he would transform into a a mountain lion. Okay, a mountain lion. No, no, I'm gonna make this girl terrified. Okay, if okay, I want you to go look up American cave lion. Okay, go look up how much. Just go look up it. Go look it up. Pause this video or still watch this video in the background. I want you, or after what you're doing, after if you're listening to this working out or playing a video game, after you're done, I want you to take your phone or a device, computer, I don't care. Look up American cave lion. Okay, I want you to look that up, see the image, You know what? Screw it. I'll do it for you. Okay. I want I want you. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. See, they're extinct, right? They're extinct. They are lions that used to be here. Okay. And I want you to see this, if I could ever find it. Um, hold on. Description? That? Is that what it's gonna be? Okay, here. The American cave lion is, well, as you can see, they are, well, the biggest one has been 8 foot and 2 inches, which he's a massive cave lion dog. He is absolutely massive. And they're half a ton, males are half a ton. If you don't know, a ton is 2,000 pounds. Okay? They're half a ton. They are massive. They're terrifying. Okay? Okay? He transforms into that and would step up behind Izumi and would take his paw and slam her head right into the ground. Or it would hit back of her head, which it would go crashing. Her head would go into Bakugo's stomach, hitting her. Bakugo would want like get up, be holding her stomach in pain, and would look at Midoriya and would be like, and I mean, Izumi would turn around and look and would take or would telekinesis Bakugo's hand up that hasn't been like the one gauntlet and would take it and pull the pin. And I'm telling you uh when I say it nothing happened, like if you know the Zoro moment. But some stuff happened. Okay. Bakugo, which would say, don't do it. I don't want to refill them. Which I think this is how it worked. In My Hero. I don't know how that happened with the pins. I don't know. But yeah. Uh, the other pin would be pulled, and Bakugo, well, Medora would be launched back into a wall, hitting it. You could hear him hit it, right? And as that would happen, the smoke would clear, and everyone would be shocked. Either camera Midoriya, well, like, well, Midoriya would be standing there like nothing happened. Like you could see the burn marks, how and a little bit of his fur would be on fire, but yet it looks like absolutely nothing happened to him. And he would run up to Izumi and would slap or hit her with his paw again, almost knocking her out. She would be laying there limp, but like trying to stand up, and you could hear All Might say, "Heroes win!" over the intercom. And well, Tokiyami finally got the bomb. Uh, well, would press the button right, and yeah. Hold on, I'm checking what time it is. Oh, it hasn't been that long. 20 minutes. Minutes, I think. Well, I started this at that time. So yeah, exactly 20 or 30 minutes. 20, 30 minutes. Um, yeah, so I can go a little bit longer. Yeah, as they would, Medora would start walking out. He would finally transform back, which his clothes weren't the real, well, they would be destroyed almost. But the only thing he would have is his bottom half. But yet, Tokiyami would be walking down the stairs, like you could hear it, like Midori was about to walk off, and and Tokiyami would say, "What? Uh, hold on, let me get to the voice. What happened down here?" And she would be shocked, and to see what Midori's condition is and what happened to those two, the well, Bakugo and Izumi, and Tokiyami would pick up both of them by with Dark Shadow and take them out. And when they would finally get back up there, everyone would look at Midoriya like he's insane. He took both of them, both explosions, point blank, basically, and he would start like try to still be able to stand up, and he just fell out, just fell on the floor, unconscious, bleeding, burnt, and everyone would start going over to him. Well, the first one to make it over there, let's say it was uh, Kaminari. Kaminari would be the first one to make it over there and check his pulse. And uh, Kaminari would say, "He's good. He is alive, at least, I think." Because I guarantee Kaminari would barely even know how to check a pulse. But yet he would know like a little bit. I feel like. See, I like Kaminari a lot, so I'm guessing he would. They would because it's only men with a quirk. That's the story. But yeah. Um, yeah, and uh, Ma- well, Midoriya would be taken away by a couple students. Well, the students that weren't going next. Okay, and the fights would go on, and the teams would be changed up clearly. But yeah, they would go on, and yeah, and when they got done, oh yeah, Mirio was also there. So Tokiyami and Mirio took these students to Recovery Girl, and yeah, they would get checked on and whatnot, and the training would be completed by now. Um, yeah, the training would be done. People would come in the to see Midoriya, see if he's okay or not. Um, Almost everyone. Bakugo and Izumi wouldn't be there. Mirio wouldn't be there because she had to go. All Might wouldn't be there. Aizawa would come in and check on him. But yeah, that was earlier before those two came in. And yeah, everyone would be checking on him. Um, Todoroki would just be staring at him, not saying a word. And yeah, and yeah. Um, we'll do a time skip. To 2 weeks later, I'd say. And Aizawa would walk into the class. Midoriya would be not bandaged anymore. Well, not that we could see. He would be bandaged under his uh shirt and everything. Yeah. And Midoriya would be actually not trying to go to sleep. Uh he would be up just chilling. his hands behind his back, behind his head, and yeah, Aizawa would come in and say, "Well, you, oh, hold on. Well, uh, I guess, uh, well, you all are, we and a couple more people are having a field trip to the USJ." And Denki would raise his hand. Does that, and would say, does that mean Universal Studios Japan? Or am I about to get real disappointed? And Aizawa would say, well, Kaminari, you're about to get real disappointed. I don't remember, and this isn't, they don't say this. Um, this is me. Hi. I don't remember what the USJ actually stands for. Okay, I don't remember at all. So, yeah. Um, so they would all get on their hero costumes, which Midori's would be fixed by now. It's not a big fix, a big fix. But yeah, they would get fixed, and he's wearing the costume again with his jacket, and they would all be getting on the bus, and they could see a couple more, another bus behind it, and that would be Class 1B. And before they got on the bus, you could hear, well, we all know who this is. Or when they were about to get on the bus, a girl with blonde hair and in a tuxedo type deal would walk up and would say, "Whoa, what do we have here? The low life class 1A and their male going on the same field trip as us, the great class 1B." And everyone in class 1A and in class 1A would give like a blank stare, like they're confused on who this is. And Kaminari would say, "Uh, who are you, if you don't mind me asking?" And the person would say, "Oh, my name is." See, I don't know his real first. Okay, I don't know his real first name. I know it's like something keto. So I'm not. I'm just gonna say Monoma. Okay. Well, my name is Monoma. Something blank. I don't know their first name. Okay. But yet, yeah, they would all be staring at him like, they would all be staring at Monoma like, we don't care who you are. And they could see a girl with red hair, as we know as Kendo, would walk up behind Monoma and chop his neck and knock Monoma out. Okay? And as that would happen, Aizawa would yell, "All of you get on your buses, or you will be left here." And everyone would sprint back to their buses and get on. Okay? And they would all be seated. And, um, who would sit by, Midoriya? I'm gonna say Kaminari would sit by him. And Hiroshima. Or why not? The boys, the traffic light trio, if you know what I mean. It's it's well, traffic light trio. You know what I mean, I hope. If you are a fan of not One Piece. Um uh my hero, traffic light trio. It's them. Um and they would somehow uh there would be a talk on there about who had the strongest quirk, and names would be thrown around like Todoroki, Momo, or Yalorozu, since I don't, or um, Bakugo, uh, Izumi, and someone, Connor would say, I think it's Midoriya. Well, Izuku. Uh, yeah, I think it's him. I think it's this guy. And she would start like patting uh Midoriya's shoulder, right? Like very like comically, and everyone would stare at Kaminari like his quirk is just transforming into animals. It's like, and Midoriya would say it's not really just transforming into animals. It's just the premise that I told you all about. I can do stuff. Ask Oraka. And Oraka would say, what do you mean? Oh, you mean that giant ape thing that you transform into to save me, right? I feel like you're talking about that. And Midoriya would say, I am talking about that. See, I can transform into just about anything if I know about it, okay? See, with the giant ape thing, that transformation, um, I read it in a book once that there once be a species, but this is fake. I don't. If you want to see more giant ape, um, go watch Isekai D&D by Rustage, and go to like episode 21, 22, one in that range. Okay, you'll see giant ape. And Medora would say, I read it somewhere way back when Quirk started appearing up. Some hero had a transformation quirk about apes, like a monkey man, monkey woman, and they somehow transform into a giant ape, giant monkey thing. And I thought, hey, might as well try it. And I went to the forest that very next day or later that day, and boop, I transform into a giant ape. I don't like it. It hurts transforming into that. I think it hurts more to change my anatomy when like changing to like a tiger doesn't hurt because well, it hurts because and everyone would look confused at Midoriya like I thought you said like and Commoner would say I thought you said it doesn't hurt transforming into your creatures. And Midoriya would say, well, it doesn't if I have transformed into them more than once. And everyone would like nod their heads and like, oh yeah, that seems understandable. And Midoriya would also say, I can also, uh, well, like I said, transform into about anything if it's an animal. Um, I can't really change the size of animals, so don't even get thinking about that. Um, yeah, that's just how my quirk works. I can transform into any animal. Yeah, Animal Kingdom, you get the premise of it. But yeah. So Commenter would say like, or Tokiyami would say, so it hurt to transform into that giant lion thing you transformed into, and Midoriya would say, oh yeah, it was terrible. Oh gosh, it hurt really bad. And he would like laugh it off like like yeah he would laugh it off like he would laugh off the pain really like and everyone would look worried even like Todoroki would look worried at Midoriya and Kirishima would say dude pain in it isn't funny and Midoriya would say no it's funny to me because it's my pain and that's how I get over pain. I laugh when I get hurt. It's weird, really weird. And everyone would look confused, but like Tokiyami and like Ojiro and I'm gonna say like Jiro would like and Kaminari too would like think and would say, yeah, you're not wrong. And but yet they have different understandings of it. Like they would have different understandings of like funny pain. Like they think like seeing like a like some things hurt, like something hurt. because the person that got hurt was bullying them. They think that's funny, right? And not like other people's pain. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah. The you could hear also Aizawa would say in the middle of this, "We're here, problem children, you psychopaths," and they would all walk off the bus and see that one B actually got there first. And Monoma would, you could hear Monoma say, you could hear Monoma say, "Ha ha ha, we beat 1A," and like, yeah, you could hear Monoma say that, and and someone in 1A would say, "What is wrong with that woman?" And like Kaminari would say that, "What is wrong with that woman?" And they would all start walking in there, and uh, Medora would have his jacket on, okay, and they would get there, and yeah, they would get there, and they would get in the building, and they would all be told about 213, um, about, and she would make her speech actually, and then Kaminari, no, Tetsu would say, "Whoa!" I know I'm making them sound like men, even though they're women. I just think it's funny because I don't really like doing feminine voices. It's hard for me, okay? I got a deep voice as is. But yet, Tetsu would say, "Whoa, you all even have fake villains?" And he would be, well, Tetsu would be pointing over at uh at a black like mass of like a thing. They don't know what that is, but yet you could see uh villains uh walking out of it, a big group of them. And then, as I would say, those are not fake. I think I already said that, but I'm saying it again. Those are not fake. Tetsu. Or, is that your name? I don't know. Don't pay attention. Um, as I would say, Vlad, 13, protect the kids. And Aizawa would jump down and start beating up all the villains that are there one by one, punching. Well, they would start beating them, and Midoriya would look down for once and would look um that there was a portal appearing on them, and he would yell out, "Everyone jump!" And they would all say, "Why?" "Because we're about to get teleported away." And some of them that didn't listen to him because they didn't believe him would be teleported away. But yet the ones that wouldn't be would be um who Kirishima, um, Kaminari, uh, so no, like most of 1B would be teleported away, except for like a couple students. And then there's um Monoma didn't get teleported away because she Monoma looked down uh because she wanted to know why the male told him to jump, and Monoma realized, oh, that's why he asked us to jump, and he would jump. Monoma would be there. Uh, a couple other students, it doesn't really matter. Almost all of them get teleported away, so for like Bakugo and Hiroshima, um, everyone would get teleported away, so like a few, and they would be there with the teachers. And after Hiragiri, Kurogiri tried to teleport them all the way. Uh, they would get in. Kirigo would get in a fight with Vlad King or Vlad King, Queen would be the name of their hero name at this point. And 13, which they would all get in a fight, blah blah blah. And now they would all start fighting, well, against Kurogiri, not all of them. But yet some villains would jump up at like the students and Bakugo. Well, Izumi would also be there, not teleported away. No, she does get teleported away, and they would be with Suyu and Mineta instead of Midoriya. And when the villain starts to pop up, Monoa wasn't even paying attention. So Midoriya had to hit the guy as a gorilla, silverback gorilla, and punch him, knocking him out because I feel like anyone would get knocked out if they were punched by a gorilla. And like I know what you're about to say, Bakugo and Izumi did it, but yet they didn't get punched by a gorilla at full force. I'm also pretty sure they didn't get punched by a gorilla. They got hit by a like a tiger and a cave lion, dog. But yet, yeah, they Midori would say, "Pay attention. I don't need more people to save at this point or pay attention to." And Midoriya would start punching villains that would come up. And um and Aizawa would start well would look back and see Midoriya in his gorilla form and see some villains uh going after them. And and Aizawa would also see that 13 is down and Vlad was messing with the teleporting villain before well Aizawa took down most of the low rank villains, right? And then Aizawa heard uh someone yell, "No moo! Kill Eraserhead!" And a giant purple creature would start uh start running at at what's her Aizawa. And before Aizawa could even register at a thing right beside her, she would get punched into a wall. And then you could hear a person's yell, "No moo! Go to the students instead. We're gonna make these teachers, these heroes, I mean, yeah, these heroes realize that bringing students is a bad way, and not bringing All Might too." And maniacal laugh, okay. And they would start, well, the Nomu would start running at the students, right? And Midoriya would transform back down with his jacket on, which he didn't tear, luckily, when he transformed into the gorilla form, because it was semi-stretchy. He got it made by the heroes, the sport classes, to not stretch, but to not break if he went into his gorilla form. So gorilla was just wearing a jacket, right? And he sees a Nomu running straight for Kirishima and well, Kirishima. And he sees the creature punch Kirishima, which Kirishima did harden up their body with their quirk. So she didn't die from it yet, but yet she's hurt. And Bakugo would try to hit the thing, but yet that wouldn't work. They try to blow it up. So Bakugo gets hit away, and Midoriya is starting to get, well, excuse my language, pissed off And Medora would start running at the Nomu and would jump. Well, he would transform into a what would it be fitting? He would transform into a just a gorilla, okay, silverback gorilla, and he would start beating on the Nomu, which they're similar in size, I believe. No, a gorilla is well a certain. I think just a regular gorilla, not silverback. I think a normal gorilla is 5'5" when standing on their hind feet. Okay, so I'm guessing he would. I don't remember how tall Bonoma was. I know he's like 7 feet or something. He was as tall as All Might, so I'm gonna say like this gorilla was as tall as the Nomu. Okay, so they would start punching each other. They would start fighting. Aizawa would try to get back up, but yet villains started ganging, like trying to beat her up, trying to beat her up still. So she was focusing on the little villains, the low rank villains, and the Nomu, and Izuku was fighting the Nomu, and but yet the Nomu would get a punch, and Midora would be launched back and would hit the wall, cracking the wall a surprising amount, and would stand up in his well, he would transform back into his human form, well, his human form, and he would stand back up, take his jacket off, and would see um Hiroshima trying to stand back up and trying to get back in the fight. And uh Midori would say, just stay down. I got this. And Bakugo would say, well, not Bakugo. Hiroshima would say, no, let me help you. And Midori would say, no, you're gonna get injured enough. You already got injured enough. And I'm guessing they were here either kill All Might or trying to capture the only male, which that blue-haired woman hasn't even said anything about me, so I'm guessing I'm not the priority. But yet All Might is, which is, well, mostly everyone's favorite hero. Oh God, that hurt. He would take off his jacket and throw it on uh Kirishima, and Madara would say, "Keep that thing safe. I don't need another thing tearing or another jacket being torn." And he would stand up and see that Bakugo and Monoma trying to fight the uh trying to fight the Nomu as best they can. But yet Bakugo would get knocked back and hit the wall right beside Kirishima. Well, not right beside her, but yet would bounce and hit the wall, crashing into the wall, and would slide down. And no Monoma would get a worse fate. Instead of just crashing into the wall, she would get hit into the wall and like not like as worse. She would be okay. She's not gonna die. But yeah, she would get hit back in the wall, even like harder, and would fall. Well, she would go unconscious. Okay, and Medora would say, "I wish I transformed into this sooner or earlier, so this wouldn't hurt as bad." But yet he would start growing in size. Scales started to grow on his body. No, it's not a dragon, but yet they're the closest thing we know of to dragons, a dinosaur. He would start going up in size, and he transforms into a T-Rex. And he would roar and started to charge into towards the Nomu. And the Nomu would easily knock back that giant lizard thing and would grab Medora's tail and start slamming. him into the ground over and over again and would throw him back, but yet Medora would land on his feet, sliding back and transforming back into human form to transform into into let me think. He can transform into dragon, but I don't want him to. That's the moment. I'm gonna say he transforms into a um the American cave lion again. Okay, I feel like this thing has a chance, and he would start running at it as fast as he can. Being half a ton, they can run 30 miles per hour, which is ish, fastest ish. But yet he's running as fast as he can as it. Or he could go for the European cave line. Yeah, how about he goes into the European cave line? Why not? He goes into that and would start running at it, at the thing, and would bite and uh scratch all over the place, but yet they would get healed. Sorry. But yet this time he gets hit back, would land on his feet, and would de-transform into back to his human form. He would think. He's trying to think. What could he transform into to take this thing down? And he thinks, there's one thing he read in a book once that there were things close to dragons, but yet not really dragons, called wyverns. And there was a legend made up from them that they could, well, with his quirk, he could grow aspects from the animal to like wings or something. Okay? So he thinks, no, I'm joking. Um, but yet he thinks, scrapped all the wyvern stuff. I don't want to turn into a dragon yet. But yet he thinks of what animal or dinosaur creature thing that could help him. And he thinks, why not a bear? I mean, they're, no, yes. And so he transforms into a bird and flies up. And the Nomu is looking at this hawk flying around them or flying up in the air. And he thinks, and Medora would transform back into human form and would start falling. And he would start transforming into a whale. He's trying to crush this thing. And he lands on the Nomu. Everyone is looking at him like, how, what? And you could hear like a big yell from the whale creature, the whale. Like whoop, 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 whoop. Like he's going whoop, 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 whoop. And he would transform back into his human form and he would see that the Nomu is crushed, is bleeding, and but it starts to move again, and Midoriya thinks, like, that didn't take it out? Oh crap. Oh, this is gonna hurt. And he starts seeing the no move again. And like get up like slowly, but yet you could tell it hurt the no move. And the Nomu throws a punch at Midoriya, and Midoriya puts up his arms, and but yet he still gets blown back towards the door, and he would slide back on his feet. He would look up, see the Nomu charging at him again, and he would think, you know, I haven't transformed this into this thing in a while. Let's try this out. And he would transform into an elephant. And he would stab the Nomu's arms with its tusk, and he would throw it as far as he could away from him. And then he would start running towards the Nomu, and he would start going back to his human form, and he would start running, and he would change into a rhino, and he would gore the what do you if you want to know what gore means, he would put the horn into the Nomu's stomach and would throw it up as far as he could and would transform into, and we'll go back to his human form, and transform into a narwhal or a swordfish. Well, he would jump up, transform into that, like no, not a swordfish because he wouldn't end up well. After that, he transforms into a a giant mantis, if a mantis, praying mantis. He turns into a giant one. He can do certain giant creatures if he's seen like myths about a giant creature, like the giant ape and now the giant mantis. And he takes up the two like scythe like appendages of the mantis and would slice the like it, typical anime fashion where they appear behind the the opponent with the sword like sheath or like open, and he would sheath and blood everywhere. That would happen. The blood would be everywhere, right? And then we would see the Nomu just turn around like nothing happened. But yet he would be all bloodied, and Midoriya would turn back like, oh, excuse my language, oh shit. And he would get punched, and it would hit the wall and would slide down and de-transform. But yet he would still try to stand back up and try to transform into something. But yet the Nomu would be right back on him. And the Nomu would throw him at the other side, jump up, punch Midoriya back down to the ground, and would start trying to wail, like uh beat him down. But yet Midoriya, when he was in air, he started to transform into a flying monkey, flying lemur, like a tiny little creature where he could dodge. Or no, he transforms into a cheetah. Okay. And he starts running when he hits the ground. I mean, he starts running as fast as he can, trying to get away from this thing. And he gets to a wall. He jumps up and turns around mid-air and uh would transform. Do well, you'll see. He would turn around, transform into a lion. Okay, and then he would start uh cutting uh the lion up into pieces, and the Nomu would punch him off, send him into the wall right beside Kirishima, and he would slide down, not to move. But yet he would still be awake. He would try to get up, but yet he was too weak to do it. And you could see the Nomu barely getting like healing from the wounds the that Midoriya caused. And then you could hear a voice say, "I am here." And you could hear another voice say, "Nomu, kill All Might." And Nomu would go straight after All Might when once he shows up to the door. And the teachers all around would show up and help the students. right? And All Might would go punches with the Nomu and would launch the Nomu out of the uh, USJ. And while that is happening, um, Aizawa would run past which she and the and Vlad King has taken down most of the villains, the other villains, the weaker ones. In Shigaraki, well, as we know him as Shigaraki, they have ran. They teleported away, leaving the Nomu to fight after watching it, see it. They teleported away right after they saw it get flew out of the building, and they would teleport away, and Aizawa would run up and see that Midoriya is in bad condition. He is hurt. And Kirishima would also be checking on him. And I saw when they got punched, um, they only got like broken ribs and a broken arm, not arm, like a cracked skull and a, a couple broken ribs. So not that bad, but it could turn out even worse if uh Shigaraki didn't go back to focusing on the students and Midoriya and the other students. Um, yeah. So medics started to get out there, and everyone was worried about Midoriya. But yet, to everyone's surprise, before they even got him on the stretcher and to heal him, he started to move again. To everyone's surprise, and he would stand up weakly, but yet he could stand up still. And he looks at everyone and says, "What just happened? What did I turn into?" Well, that would be his first question because he knows what happened. He asked, "What did I turn into to make me feel this bad?" And Kirishima would say, "So many. And you got hit everywhere. I feel like dog. You turned into so many things, dog." Okay. Uh, you okay, Sensei? You do not look okay. Ugh. I think I hit my head real hard because I'm seeing multiple of all of you. Oh, I'm gonna lay. Is this the bed? I'm gonna lay down on it. And yeah, they all get healed up and time skip. Well, let's do a time skip for another 2 weeks. And Midori would be mostly healed up, right? Mostly healed up, like enough to where he could walk again. And well, he got healed up. Like, still, he has bandages, but yet he could still compete in this next thing. He's okay enough to compete in the sports festival. Like, he's not fully healed up, but yet he's at like 95%. Okay. And Aizawa would walk in bandaged up, uh, and tells everyone about the sports festival coming up. And that's where I'm going to leave it off. Next part, next Wednesday, which it won't have the Valentine's Day special under it, or maybe it will. I don't know. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and tell me your favorite animal. Okay, that's all I want to know. Tell me it in the comments, and um, it's gonna be a Harlem, so everyone's gonna be in it. Okay, not everyone, but most people will. Like, not everyone in Class 1A and Class 1B will be in there. Certain people will. Okay. And maybe some heroes. I don't know. I've thought of like one and two heroes, and maybe all of the big three will be in there. I don't know. I'm not gonna write it down in the comments because in the description because it's gonna take too long, and I don't know how to spell most people's names, so I'm not even gonna try it. But yeah, next time on this, you'll be seeing the sports festival, okay? And I'll see you this Friday with part four, part four, I believe, of What If Deku Had Eight Gates. And yeah, um, remember to like, subscribe, put favorite animal, like I said. Yeah, that's all I need to know. And bye. I'll see you all Friday.